The coaching industry has a dirty secret that's keeping you broke. And after working with 74 clients and building 2 multi-million-dollar coaching businesses and studying every single major coach in this space for the last decade, I'm about to expose exactly what they don't want you guys to know. You see, most coaches in this space are selling you the dream, but they've never actually done the thing. They're not living it themselves. They're teaching you guys these systems that they've never actually used to build the real wealth. And the ones that are making the millions, they're doing the complete opposite of what they're teaching you guys. Now, I'm Jared Martin, and I've built the Sovereign Standard to over $3.5 million per year, and I've also built 2 health and fitness companies to over 7 figures. And I've helped some of the biggest coaches in the game build freedom through business. And my network is also built of some of the biggest names in the industry. What I'm about to share with you will completely change how you think about building a coaching business, because the real secrets is they're not sexy. They're not what sells courses, but they are what actually works. So let me start off with a story that'll blow your mind. 3 years ago, I was part of a live mastermind on Zoom, which was an event that was hosted in Miami. The Zoom call was full of these successful coaches, and everyone's talking about their big months and their launches and their funnels. And this one guy jumps on and he shares some screenshots of these 500K months, and everyone's going crazy and applauding him. And after his presentation, I reached out to him and I was talking to him on WhatsApp, and he tells me something that just made my fucking blood boil. So what he said to me was, he said, "Jara, I'm literally scraping the barrel at the moment. I'm broke. Like, those screenshots, that's revenue. That's not profit. So after the refunds, the team costs, the ad spend, the leasing of the cars and the traveling that I'm trying to say that I do, I haven't paid myself in the last 6 months." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this guy was teaching a course on how to scale to 7 figures while he was personally going backwards financially. And that's when I realized the first dirty secret is that most coaches are confusing revenue with wealth. So they're optimizing for vanity metrics instead of actually profiting and creating freedom. And here's what they don't tell you, is that 100K a month with 90% expenses is so much worse than a 30K a month with 20% expenses. Which one sounds better in a testimonial? The coaching industry has literally trained you guys to chase the wrong numbers. They show you the revenue screenshots because profit screenshots would expose how broke they actually are and how broken their business is. But that's just the beginning of it. The second lie is even worse. And if you scroll through any successful coach's Instagram, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see the private jets, you're gonna see the luxury cars, you're gonna see the watches, you're gonna see the exotic locations. But here's what they don't actually show you. They don't show you the credit card debt or the leased lifestyle or the fact that they're literally one bad month away from losing everything. And I learned this lesson the hard way. When I first started making good money, I fell into the exact same trap where I thought success meant looking successful. And I was spending money on things that I didn't need and that I just thought were gonna impress other people. And the dirty secret is that most coaches are trapped in what I call the lifestyle inflation prison. The more they make, the more they spend. They're not building wealth, they're just building expenses, literally. And I know coaches that are making $2 million a year who have less money in the bank than someone who's making 100K with proper systems, because they're just confused looking rich with being rich. Now, real wealth is not about the Lamborghini, and yeah, I do have a Lamborghini in my driveway, but I'm making fucking bank. I'm investing my money into the right things. I've got properties. I've got 5 businesses going at the moment. So it's about the systems that is gonna help you generate cash flow, whether you work on the business or in the business. It's about building something that's gonna serve you instead of something that you have to serve. And that brings me to the third lie, which is the most dangerous one out of all of them. Every coach is obsessed with scale. You need to scale to 7 figures. You need to scale to 8 figures. Scale or die, like all that bullshit that you read and see of these guys. But here's what they don't actually tell you, is that most of those scaling systems kill freedom. They don't create freedom. And I've watched coaches go from 50K months with a simple high ticket offer to 300K months with a super complex funnel system, which sounds amazing, but it's not, because at the 50K months, he worked 20 hours a week and he kept 80% of the profit. At the 300K months, he was working 80 hours a week, he was managing a team of 15 people, and he was dealing with the constant fires and keeping 15% profit. Like, he scaled his revenue, but he just destroyed his life. He had more money coming in, but so much less money in his pocket. So that obviously equals zero freedom. And the dirty secret about scaling is that it often means trading your freedom for complexity. Now, there's so many team members that you need to manage when it comes to scaling. There's so many more systems that you need to maintain. There's so many more problems that have to be solved. The fires just don't stop. And when you talk to a real successful coach, the ones who are actually wealthy and free, they don't scale complexity. They're scaling simplicity. They find what works and then they do that more often. And they don't try and create all these different versions and variations of it. Which now leads me to what they actually do behind the scenes. So if they're not doing what they're teaching, what are they actually doing? Well, I've been behind the scenes with enough of these guys to know the real playbook. First, they focus on profit margins, not on revenue. The coaches making real money have businesses that are doing 70 to 90% profit margins. They're not trying to build the next Amazon. They're literally just building cash flow machines that they can just put money into and pull money out of. I know coaches who make $2 million a year just with him and an assistant. His entire business model is high ticket, one-on-one coaching at 50K per client, which is simple, it's profitable, it's scalable, and there's no complexity to it. Secondly, they master one thing instead of trying to do everything. So while everyone else is launching their courses and their masterminds and their group programs and the done-for-you services, the real millionaires are picking one single model and perfecting that one model. In my business, we have multiple offers, but they're all serving to the same avatar with the same core transformation. So we're not trying to be everything to everyone. What we're trying to do is we're trying to be the best solution for one specific person. And then thirdly, they build systems for freedom, not just money. So every process in their business is designed to give them more time and more energy so they can have bandwidth within working on their business. They also ask themselves, will this make me more free or less free? If it makes them less free, they don't fucking do it, regardless of how much money it might make them. And then fourth, they focus on lifetime value. It's not quick wins. It's about understanding that while everyone else is optimizing for the next launch and the next cohort of people, these guys are building relationships that are going to last decades because they've got this authority and this connection with people and they're delivering actual results. And here's the biggest secret of all. The coaches that are making the real millions aren't selling coaching, they're selling transformation, and there's a massive difference. The coaching is about the process. The transformation is about the outcome. So coaching is what you do, transformation is what they get. When I shifted from selling business coaching to selling freedom, the ability to build a business that gives you complete freedom over your time and your money and your life, that's when everything changed for me. Because this is exactly what I learned, is that people don't buy coaching. You got to remember that the coaching industry is full of people selling dreams that they're not living. So don't be one of them. Build something that's real. Build something that lasts. Build something that's serving people and getting them the results. Become the top of your niche. Now, if you enjoyed this, guys, I'd love if you could subscribe. I'd love if you could like the video. I'd love if you could share the video. If you didn't, fair call. Move on to the next. But I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Let's fucking go.